Hello, thanks for tuning in today. We're going to be doing an oil change, do-yourself oil change on my 2011 BMW S1000RR. Today we're going to be using LIQUIMOLY's 5W40 Street Race full synthetic motor oil and the OEM BMW oil filter. This bike hasn't had an oil change in quite some time, so we're actually going to run their engine flush through the system, and first step for doing that is making sure you get the bike up to operating temperature. Let's go ahead and start her up and let her warm up. So now we've warmed the bike up, and it's about 169 or so water temperature. The oil will be a little bit cooler than that, but after we add this stuff, we'll continue running it a little bit to cycle it through, and then we'll go ahead and change the oil. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add this oil circuit flush and clean. It says it's a oil additive for 4-stroke motorbikes. Removes harmful deposits and residues from engine, flushes out and cleans the engine from the inside, thus ensuring optimum engine performance and increasing the service life of the engine. Add to warm motor oil before changing the oil. After adding the product, allow the engine to idle for further 10 minutes. Then change the oil and filter and filling with clean oil. So let's give this stuff a go. Let's fire her back up. Okay, so we've run this 10 minutes or so to operating temperature of 203 water temperature. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with the oil change. Okay, so the next step here is to remove the lower left side fairing using the Torx bit. Okay, so now we've got the lower fairing off, and it's worthwhile to note that there's 7 short bolts, short Torx bolts that hold on the lower fairing, and 2 of the longer Torx bolts. The 2 longer ones go here and at the bottom, respectively, for tracking purposes. And only reason we needed to lower the fairing is to get to the oil filter, which is right there. And the clearance is a little bit tighter with this aftermarket full titanium system from Brock's Performance, but shouldn't be too difficult to put a strap wrench in there. And then the oil drain, show that, is right there. So to remove the oil drain plug, you can either use a Torx T50, or if you don't have one of those, a 8mm hex would also work as well. After we take the oil drain plug out, make sure we clean the metal filings off the magnet on there. Before putting the drain plug back on. So while I'm waiting for the oil to finish draining, I went ahead and used one of these rubber strap wrenches to loosen up the oil filter. And now that it's loose, I'm just going to take it off by hand. Here we've got the old original filter off and the new one ready to go on. Make sure that you lubricate the seal with fresh oil to help ensure a tight seal, and make sure that the gasket doesn't stay stuck on the engine block. Then we're just gonna hand tighten this onto the block. Okay, so we put a new crush washer on this drain plug here, and now that the oil is finished draining, we're going to go ahead and put it back on there and tighten it back up. The repair manual says 28 Newton meters of torque for when you reinstall the drain plug. So we'll thread these on by hand first, and then hand tighten, and then torque it down to 28 Newton meters. When you take the oil filter off, it makes a little bit of a mess. Make sure you clean off the exhaust as best you can. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the new oil into the crankcase, and BMW actually, their book manual actually recommends filling it until the glass is to the max and then running the engine. So 3.5 liters of oil, we'll go ahead and fill it to the max and see how BMW's recommendation goes. So I just checked the glass on the other side. Looks like we're just under halfway, so doing pretty good. So the glass right here is showing max about 3.5 liters of oil in there, and so per BMW's manual procedures, now we'll start it up and see if it ends up at about half, which is what's desired. So after running the engine for a few minutes, looks like we're just a little under half, so I'm just going to top it off a little bit more, and then put the left side fairing back on. No leaks on startup after running it for a few minutes, so I think we're good to go. Happy riding, everybody.